Good evening. Today is October the 12th, 2017. This is the meeting of the Hyde Park Central School District's Board of Education. At this time, I have a motion to enter executive session to discuss confidential matters pertaining to a personnel disciplinary matter.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Good. We're now in executive session. Thanks. Okay, at this time, may I have a motion to return to open session, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. We're now in open session. At this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beautiful timing.
Doug's idea, start early.
Oh, we're all done. Oh, okay, no. All right, we're not done. All right. There are no agenda modifications. May I have a motion to adopt tonight's agenda, please?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. So, our newly moved up information. So, upcoming events are Wednesday, October 18th, from 6 to 7 is the DLT Parent Forum at FDR. Thursday, 10/26, 7 p.m. is the regular board meeting here at the district office. Thursday, well, 10/25, well, that will out of order, is the, at 7 o'clock is the Harvest Pops concert at FDR Auditorium. Oh yeah, that's reading that. That's
Both on
Okay.
Thursday?
Is the Harvest Pops concert, isn't it?
It's Wednesday.
Is that on Wednesday?
Oh, 25th,
Oh.
all right.
I should have known that. It said 10/25. See, you guys got to keep me honest here. That's like, Perry, you were supposed to
Not my
help me. All right, 10/25. And that brings us to Pride. Our student member is not able to be with us tonight, or is late, one or the other. You got any Pride for, we got a lot, actually.
Yeah, we do. First, I'd like to thank and congratulate the Hyde Park Teachers Association for their, the proceeds from their golf tournament. They raised enough to give $1,250 to all three libraries, Clinton, Statsburg, and Hyde Park. Hi, Leah. I can let her settle in for a minute. I know that I've seen some board members on the fields as I'm tooling around. We got to go to the senior night for the girls' varsity soccer. We watched a very exciting volleyball tournament. The boys and girls soccer teams won this week. The volleyball team won. I was at the cross-country meet last night, and our team did extraordinarily well, with our Sarah Trainer coming in first for the girls, and the first top 10 slots for the boys all went to FDR. So that was an amazing race. Leah, do you have Pride? I
do.
Yeah.
1 second.
Sure.
Let me just
Take
pull
your
up the
time.
Google Doc.
We started early. It's okay. We started early.
So
My
I think
fault.
you covered all the sports wins. Yes.
I don't know if I got them all, that's for sure. I know I missed tennis and golf.
Tennis, the girls and or I think just the girls had their Mahal's championship today. I'm not
Okay.
sure about the results of that yet. We've had Spirit Week for the past 3 days, and we've had hundreds of students participating every day. So that's been awesome to see everyone get so excited. All the classes hung their banners and pep rally stuff today, and the gym looks great. So a big thanks to the artistic students. And that's about it. We're just really excited for tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll have a much more exciting report after homecoming.
Yes.
And I want to commend whoever it was that was in control of the weather. Outside of one day, it's been beautiful. It was interesting, I don't remember it being done. I think it may partially been done last year, but for this week, finishing up with the homecoming football game, they've arranged for teams like the girls' soccer and boys' soccer played back-to-back games on the turf field. In other words, the JV team played at 5 and the varsity team played at 7 for both the girls and boys' soccer matches, which was interesting to give the younger kids an opportunity to bask in the light a little bit and get a feel for what it's like to be on the big field. And it's worked out real well. I was able to go there, and I was able to run in and watch the volleyball match, the varsity volleyball match, the way it lined up. It's been kind of cool. I think it's a nice thing that should be continued. I think it started last year, and this may be the second year they've done it, but it is a nice setup for the kids and for the parents. Moving the games back a little bit to 5 and 7 gives parents a little longer time to get there from work, which has always been an issue. I will express my concern with all the events there. 5 handicap parking spots are not anywhere near the needs we have. There's 3 at the tennis courts, and there's 2 near the gym, and that's just not really enough for people. I mean, I happened to catch one, but walking in, I looked back and I saw 2 other couples coming up with at least one of them walking with canes from deep in the parking lot. So if we're going to invite the parents and grandparents there, I think we ought to do something, even if it's only on the events that draw a large crowd, to provide more handicap parking. Because if you're in the bottom end of that parking lot, that's not a walk, that's a hike to get back up to the fields. And I think it might discourage some people to come to the games, and we don't want to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, we might just say when the festivities start tomorrow?
Yes.
Did we,
7 p.m. is our
the game, what, isn't there
against-
something before it, like senior night, something, one of those
Yes,
deals?
I believe that starts at 5. There's a senior night presentation
Okay.
for the football players.
In case you want to go early, yeah. Great.
And if you want to hear some nice loud noise, the pep rally's at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
It's great. Okay.
Okay, anybody else got any pride? Okay, moving on then. Fresh off the highway, we have the audit report, Marvin and Company.
I'm going to help pass out the reports. Oh, just the big
Good.
thing.
I had a copy. I could have brought it with you. Oh, that one, no, that one was a draft. That was a draft anyway. The one, the hard copy I had.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good, thanks.
Thanks. Got it.
Are these 3 different ones?
Yep, yep, yep.
I promise not to go through it all.
One second. Yep. Yeah, getting this done in 5 minutes is going to be a challenge, I think, yeah. Okay, I think everybody's got.
Thanks, Linda. Okay, so my name's Chris Healy, for those of you who I have not met. I was the audit manager on the engagement this year, and I'm going to do this pretty quick. I won't go into the painstaking details. We had some really good discussions at the audit committee meeting. So I'm going to go right to, in the thickest packet, if you go to page F5, everything that I talk about is going to kind of be right there. It's a nice summary of the audit results. So the district engaged us to audit the financial statements of the district, as well as the federal award programs under the uniform guidance and the extra classroom activity funds. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements, as well as the design and implementation of internal controls. We are responsible for gathering audit evidence on a test basis to support an opinion on the financial statements. As part of that process, we consider your internal controls, but we don't give an opinion on your internal controls. So if you look at that page F5, you'll see right there at the top the financial statements of the district. We issued an unmodified opinion. That is a clean opinion. It's the best you can do. The next section down, internal control over financial reporting. There were no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies. There was no non-compliance material to the financial statements. Then down to your federal award major programs, there was again no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in internal control and compliance over the major programs. Again, we are issuing an unmodified opinion over compliance for your major programs. That's the single audit. And no findings to be disclosed in accordance with 2 CFR 200-516A. That's basically the single audit. The next part down lets you know what program we tested. We tested child nutrition. I do want to give a little shout out. We tested child nutrition at a lot of districts this year. Just seems to be the way the cycle falls. Almost every single district we audited had at least one material weakness or significant deficiency. We noted none here. That's something that the district should really be proud of. It's a very complex program. There's a lot of compliance requirements, and everything looked really good. So that's certainly a good thing. The dollar threshold used to distinguish between type A and type B, that just determines what we have to test. That's $750,000. And the district did qualify as a low-risk auditee. Basically, there's some criteria that we have to consider. And if you're a low-risk auditee, it just changes up our procedures a little bit. We have to test a little bit differently. Basically, that means that you have good internal controls in place. You haven't had prior findings. You file everything on time. Allows us to place some reliance on what the district does. The next section, financial statement findings, as I said, we have nothing to report. Section 3, federal award findings and question costs, again, nothing to report. On the next page, you'll see this is the summary of prior audit findings. So I'm also happy to report that all 3 of the prior year findings were properly addressed and are not repeated this year. So we're just required to indicate that on that page there that those findings were all addressed during the year. We also audited the extra classroom activity funds. We had a clean opinion on those as well. The important thing to note there is they're on the cash basis of accounting, not on the accrual basis. So that just basically means that when the cash is coming in and the cash is going out, that's when things are recorded. So you may have some timing differences in the financial statements based on when the cash went in or the cash went out. We had some minor recommendations for both the district and the extra classroom funds, which we discussed in detail with the audit committee. You'll find those on those other letters. I don't think we need to go through all of those here. I think those are just best practice suggestions. And overall, I'd like to thank Linda, Barb, the whole staff, child nutrition staff, everybody that helped us out. Things really went smooth this year and made our job easy. Are there any
Does anybody have
questions?
any questions? I would point out that the audit committee does recommend that we accept the audit. We did have quite a bit of discussion. None of it, as Chris pointed out, that was significant. It was just questions on how things went and how you did. And of course, any small things will be addressed by Linda and her. So thanks very much. Sorry you got stuck in traffic on the way
That's all right.
down.
You made it.
You made it. That's,
All right, thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
And Doug mentioned the audit committee recommending the acceptance of the report, and you'll see later on in this today's board meeting, we will be accepting the report. So we always get the recommendation of the audit committee before the board votes on the acceptance.
We'll vote on the acceptance.
And as far as I remember, somebody once made a comment, he said, we're really given no choice, this is what it is, and you got to accept it at some point. And since this was is it still October or November when the state wants that?
October
October.
15th.
Yeah.
So it's always in a tight timeline.
Right, 15th, yep, 15th. So we got 3 days, come on.
In
All right.
Flynn, as they say.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Safe trip home. Oop. Okay, well, now that I bumped ahead,
Maybe we'll
You got
have to
anything?
pay next year for that.
come to the superintendent's report.
Yes. A couple of things. On a sad note, I'd like to extend our condolences to the family of Frances Lown. Frances Lown was a cook manager in the district for over 30 years. I'm not sure of her retirement date, but she passed away recently. And so again, our thanks for her incredibly long service to the district, and condolences to the family. A couple of upcoming dates that we want to keep in mind. The FDR College and Career and Job Fair is October 19th. That is a during-the-day program for students, but adults are more than welcome to come. I hear we have some visitors from Red Hook because they're looking at maybe replicating. On October 18th is the Community Forum. This is a chance for the community to come learn about our upcoming capital project vote, as well as our academic direction of the district. That will be a time for community input, questions and answers, a tour of the FDR Science Labs. So we're going to be sending out several reminders and announcements using all forms of media, and hope that we get some people to attend that evening. The community night at Haviland Middle School happens before our next board meeting. That is October 24th, a little bit earlier than they are doing. We've had a lot of tragedies affect the Haviland Middle School community, and I'm pleased to say that in response to that, Eric has invited several agencies from the community who offer services to come and have a booth there and talk about the services they provide to families as far as support for all kinds of crisis. So that'll be one new aspect of the evening. We should have a conversation. At our last board meeting, we determined that a December vote was too premature for the capital project. We're looking at a February vote. In keeping with Tuesday and staying away from the holiday week, that leaves us with possibly February 13th or the 27th. As we prepare our materials, we will include why the district has decided to hold a vote. Historically, we have had a separate vote for capital projects, and there's a lot of rationale behind that. One is so that people can really spend time and understand that particular project versus other projects. It also affects our debt service timeline, and it also affects our ability to get the work done and not lose a summer. As you could imagine, doing construction in the summer is critical to the operation of our schools, and May would put us out 3 years versus 2 years to have any of the work done. So I don't know if somebody wants to guide us in the 213 or 227. We're assured that both of those dates will still keep us on our schedule, and
I would personally go with the 27th. That'd be my pick. Yeah.
You know, and I might lean that way as well, only thinking we get a little further through the winter
Right.
and you start, you know, getting toward the 1st of March, things get maybe a little more mild.
Yeah.
it's my choice, but I'm not voting.
Yeah.
Well, we're not voting tonight, we're just
Yeah.
making a decision.
The 27th.
27th? Good. Okay, so that helps because that will expedite now our ability to start publishing some materials,
Right.
so thank you. That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. At this time, may I have a motion to enter public participation, please?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? If anybody in the audience there would like to address the board, please step up to the mic. Fine. May I have a motion to close public participation, please?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Board subcommittee reports, well, as I already said, the audit committee did meet, and we are recommending that we accept the external audit. Any other meetings that, I know I didn't go to any others.
I will say that the Dutchess County School Board Association,
right.
at our meeting, we all had a lesson on reading financial statements, done by the business official from Pauling Central School. Very enlightening, great conversation, and we're going to look at perhaps doing that or even more parts of financial understanding. So I'll keep people posted as those become available.
Okay, great. Any other? Okay. Then moving on to our discussion on board goals. I believe we finished the last meeting proposing that we accept what's in the proposed goals and make them those our goals. Later on, we'll vote on that. But any changes anybody want to make before? Okay. That gets us to the consent agenda. May I have a motion for 10.1, the consent agenda, please?
So moved? Second.
Any discussion on that one?
Could I get a little information on the North, what's it called, North
Rivers.
River?
Yeah. Actually, we put that contract into place for some of the teacher training days for, one of them was for guidance counselors and one was for social workers, because they had some targeted training that was really appropriate for them, where the rest of the teaching staff and others were doing other things. Since then, and it doesn't affect the contract, but local, very inexpensive guidance counselor conference came up that's right here. And we're going to do that again. We just didn't know it was also going to be on Election Day. So they're only going to bill us for one. So it's really half of what the contract says, but we wouldn't be paying it. You know how contracts can have a larger amount than we end up being invoiced for. So since you brought it up, I'll tell you that it's only the social worker day. So it's really only for half.
Then I'm glad I asked. Thank you.
Me too. You're welcome.
Good.
And anything else? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
I'd just like to comment that continuing a trend we've seen along the way, one of the hiree for the school psychologist, Robert Puckery, is a former graduate of Roosevelt High School. And there's a bubble. He now makes the third employee in the district that I know of in a teaching or counseling position from the same graduating class. And the reason I know this is because my son graduated with them. So
Okay.
I think it's kind of cool that people come back to here as a testimony to the district we have, because if anybody has the insight into what we're doing and how effective we are, it would be students that graduated here that have kept touch.
Okay, I guess I'll stick my foot in it. I actually think, yes, it's a good idea for have prior FDR or Hyde Park School District students come back and work here. I really like to see people come from other areas that have different points of view that might give a more, I mean, if you've only been in this district, it's hard to have outside the box, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying that's not it's not a good thing, but I think it's a better thing to have people from other places that have had other experiences.
Well, this is a student that has worked in the school district for 10 years in other school districts and is coming back to this school
Okay.
district.
Okay, I was not specifically denigrating anybody at all. I just feel that too many come back, it's not a good thing. So I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, but.
We'll agree
yeah.
to disagree.
Okay.
Probably.
And I have a motion for special education placements, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, Dan?
Reviewed the packet, recommend its adoption, and here we are.
All right. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. That brings us to Ralph Smith Elementary School Local Assistance Plan. I have a motion to approve that plan, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. And I have a motion for 11.3, approval of the overnight field trip for the International Thespian Society.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion there? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. I have a motion for 11.4, the overnight field trip for all-state chorus. That would be, oh, I thought it said who it was, but, okay,
So moved. Second.
yeah. Any discussion there? I have one question. It said there's one student and we're providing transportation. Is that in a van or?
Yeah, we wouldn't send a full school bus if we
Right.
can avoid that.
And
Where is it?
And chaperones, it is,
if the
Rochester?
parents are going, is there a reason why the student wouldn't go with their parents?
if it's we have a waiver for overnight trips for
Right,
parents.
because the parents are
to-
going to be there.
Right.
I'm just curious. We're essentially sending two vehicles for one person.
Two vehicles.
Well,
Oh.
the parents and.
Well,
and-
and the music instructor will be going, so we have two chaperones that will be going with the student. I don't know if the parents are going.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if the parents can make it. I know the chaperones are going on the vehicle with the student. I could check.
The problem I would see with that is if you depended on the parents
Well,
were
I know-
going,
I
and
know,
then
I know.
something comes up,
It
what
just-
happens?
Yeah. We do have a policy that they have to take transportation if it's within a day. And is this being approved as an overnight? Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Enough discussion then. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
There's a waiver for overnight.
Now, here's the motion to acknowledge receipt and acceptance of the external audit, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion there, other than the fact that the audit committee recommends that we accept it? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Can I have a motion to adopt the board goals as listed?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion there? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Wow. We're doing good. I have a motion for, to enter public participation, please.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Anybody like to address the board? I guess
We
not.
didn't trigger anything. We should
And I
have.
have a motion to close public participation.
So moved.
Along with the
Second.
goals we're gonna last time.
Any discussion there? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. I don't believe there are any other matters deemed necessary by the board. There is no need for a second executive session. So may I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that one? All in favor?
Gotta be a record.
Opposed?
Wow.
Thank you.
That has gotta be a record.